Hey, dreamers and wanderers, welcome back to Dream and Wanderland, the podcast. I'm Pia, your host, dream manifestation mentor, and creator of all kind of Dream and Wanderland, the blog, the podcast, the YouTube channels, all of that. It's me. And this podcast is all about talking about, yeah, following your dreams and make them come true as I'm doing it with my dreams. And yeah, so today's episode is all about one of my earliest memories where I made something happen that I wanted and that I dreamt of at the time. And yeah, so the thing is that even I'm sometimes not really aware of what I actually made happen already in my life, in my past. And this was just, yeah, kind of aha moment or epiphany that, yeah, even if I was just a teenager at that time, I already was doing what I'm doing today. Like, if I wanted something, if I really wanted something and dreamt of and I made things possible. And yeah, so this is what the episode today is about. And now let's dive into it right away without further ado. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to leave me some comments, some likes, some share it with anyone you might know that who needs it. Subscribe to the channel and then be inspired, making your dreams come true as well. So yeah, let's dive into it. Yeah. So if you follow me a little bit, whether it's on Facebook or if you have listened to the very first episode, I was telling you already that I am so one of my passions since my earliest childhood is professional wrestling. So yeah, Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Roman Reigns, all of those guys. If one of them sounds familiar, then you might know what I'm talking about. So, and actually, this was one of the reasons, wrestling was one of the reasons why I started my solo travel journey. But that's a different episode. As soon as I recorded it, I will link it here as well. Yeah, so I became a wrestling fan very back in the days, 1992, where I watched, I don't know what it was, maybe it was a Royal Rumble or already a WrestleMania, but it was on TV and it was after a huge family party for my brother, and we came back in the middle of the night, and this is when usually US wrestling events are shown on German TV in the middle of the night due to time zones, etc. So it happened. I call it destiny that we switched on the TV and there it was, a wrestling show, and all the wrestlers in the ring and action and here and there, and I was lost. I was lost. Yeah, my heart was already lost to the wrestling stuff, and I fall in love immediately. Yeah, so this is how I became a wrestling fan. Fast forward to when I was 15, something like that. Yeah, it was 15 somehow. Don't nail me down on any calculations here. I definitely was a teenager. I can't calculate numbers in my head anymore, so bear with me. I was 15 and it was, yeah, one of those evenings or nights where I watched some wrestling on German TV, and they announced WCW is coming to Germany. The year 2000, WCW Millennium Tour. And yeah, they announced the locations where they want to come and where the events should happen. And yeah, what should I say? I immediately knew that I would go there. The closest one was Leipzig, to the place where I lived at that time. And yeah, so my head was already turning in circles on how I can get there and how I can get some tickets and who might drive me there or not, or what is possible. And yeah, so it happens that, or I asked my mom or I can't remember, but I don't even ask her, I think, because I thought that this would be already a too far or too long drive to bring me there, waiting for me like 2 or 3 hours and then going back to the place where we were home. It's like a 2 hours ride minimum, maybe even more. So I didn't want to bother my mom or my dad if one of them could drive me there. So I was thinking, how can I get there? And yeah, so I mean, I already decided to go there, so no matter how, I would have gone there. And maybe that the universe or someone, something, whatever, hurt me with my decision. So my decision was already focusing on how can I make this thing happen, and probably something hurt me and sent some possibilities my way. And one of that was a travel agency in my hometown at that time who organized fan tours, so driving all around the area where I lived and picking up all the wrestling fans who wants to go to that very location, to bring them there and bring us back home after the event. And so everything was clear. I bought the ticket for the show. I still remember it was the first seat in the 15th row, which is literally just the first row, then a little pathway, and then all the ringside chairs, and then the ring, and best seat ever. And yeah, and I bought that ticket, and at the same time I called that travel agency and asked them about the bus tour and how it works and what I should need to do, and then I booked a seat on that bus. So that was it. I was 15. I wanted to go somewhere and I made it happen. So that's I mean, looking back from now as a grown up to back to my 15-year-old, it was the way that I behaved and things like that, is a difference like day and night. And I wouldn't never have imagined that I could do that, especially not at that age. And yeah, but somehow it was always in me, and it's kind of crazy, and at the same time I'm pretty proud of myself that I can do such stuff and could do, and what I've already done in the past. And yeah, A lot of people called me crazy, my friends. My mom is still thinking that I was crazy, and I'm still crazy as I'm still traveling around the world almost by myself. And especially at that time with such a young age, doing it all by myself, and then eventually traveling as well by myself. I mean, I was happy that there was a bus tour that I could rely on, that they bring me to the right locations and then back again, because there's a kind of childhood experience where I didn't find my way with using public transport, and that's why I always have this little, or not the little, but such kind of fear that I take the wrong train, or that the bus doesn't stop at the right bus stop, or ending up in the middle of nowhere and don't know how to get back. So this fear is always there still today, sometimes, especially with bus tours. Or not bus tours, but public transport bus rides. Because they never stop at all the stops, right? You always need to know where you are and let the driver know where to stop. That drives me crazy, to be honest. But anyways, so I got my ticket to and the seat on the bus, so everything was fine. I was happy. Everyone called me crazy, but I did it anyways. And this is so freaking cool. And yeah, it was still until today, it's one of my best memories that I had, because it was the act. So the way towards that day, like with planning and researching and doing all the things that it's needed, or that was needed, and then the actual night, like being on a bus with, I don't know how many people fit into such a bus, like 50 people or something, 50 wrestling fans. The first wrestling event from such a big promotion at that time in Germany again. After a long, I mean, in the middle of the 90s, there was quite a stretch without any wrestling on, whether on free TV or in-person events. So that was already exciting as well. And yeah, a bunch of wrestling fans, and then the wrestling event as such, like seeing all my heroes live in the ring, including Brad Hitman Hart, which is my childhood hero ever since I saw him the first time. The past there was, and there ever will be. It's true. Yeah, and with my seat and one of the matches there, I still can remember that there was an Extreme Rule match with Terry Funk and Brian Knobbs, one of the Extreme Rules legends. And yeah, coincidentally, during their match, they also went outside of the ring and through the audience, and ended up right in front of me, so I actually could touch them. And I don't have it with me now, but I still have a photo from them right in front of me, brawling each other. And yeah, so it was just a happy night. And yeah, afterwards, buying some merch and then hopping back on the bus and don't need to be stressed out how to get back to my home or the place where I might spend the night or whatever. So yeah, and looking back at that, it's still exciting to think about it. And yeah, so end of the story. I did something incredible. I'm proud of myself. And yeah, I just realized that I already did it. Like, I always, my whole life, whether I know it or not know it, or did it with, how can I say that, with consciousness, or like back in those days where I just did it and didn't thought about it. But my entire life I always followed my dreams and my passions and the things that I love, and made them happen and turned them into reality. And this is so amazing, especially when I think about that there was a time in my life where I didn't believe that things could be happen for me. Like, there was, to be honest, there was a time when I thought that I will never reach or achieve or get what I really want, where I didn't believe that dreams can come true, where I didn't even have dreams, where I thought this life that I'm living right now is the one that I will live forever. And for a while this was okay, because I was busy with studying and finding my first job and living my life as a grown-up. Totally fine with that. I'm not complaining about that. It was a great time too, because I kind of experienced all the experience that you experience when you grow up, like going out with friends, spending all the nights in bars and partying and all the stuff, and meeting your first love and things like that. So it's totally fine. But there was a point in that time, or during that time, where I started to think, this can't be it. So this can't be everything that might happen. And I started to remember back to my geography class, where I had that dream of traveling the world for the first time. I put the link to that episode into the description box and the show notes if you want to listen to that one. So that point came, and I didn't really believe that things like that could happen, or that it are possible for me. So I didn't really dream. I haven't had any kind of big visions, and I definitely didn't believe that such things are possible for me. So, as you can imagine, this was not an easy time. It was a pretty dark time for me. And yeah, with both memories of, now, today, where I found my way back to believing and dreaming big, and now all the memories that I had before that time, like this memory with the WCW Millennium Tour and my 15-year young me, who already did dreaming and doing the things. And when a 15-year-old can do traveling alone, so why shouldn't you can't do it? Or yeah, so why not you? There's no reason why, right? So this is my little story about me and one of my first memories of making dreams come true. I hope that it kind of inspired you and make you believing that things are possible for you too. If you're doubting that, then forget that doubt and really start believing and dreaming. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact me, comment, send me emails, DMs, whatever it is. And if you want to know more, feel free to contact me, to reach out. So I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful time. May all your dreams come true, and see you next time. Bye.